Hello there, this is Ali at SafeNet. Sentinel LDK allows you to work with protection key as Sentinel HL hardware lock, which is a dongle to be connected to the USB, and also Sentinel SL software lock, which allows you to have a digital key inside your hard disk between partitions. And we also have, starting from LDK 7.1, officially you can also use another type of key, which is Sentinel CL, which is a cloud licenses, and this is about cloud licensing. So I would like to start by telling you what is different in the license models that cloud allows you to be working with. First of all, we have subscription, which is pretty much similar like we have in the LDK, meaning that you have an amount of time that you want the application to be working, and then it stops for it. It can be 1 month, it can be 1 year, etc. Then there is the concurrency, which is pretty much similar like the LDK, meaning that you are able to allow parallel use of several end users with your applications, with your license. But the two others, postpaid and prepaid, are unique for the Sentinel Cloud. Postpaid meaning that you are going to let your end user use your features, your licenses as much as you want. However, at the end of the month or the year, you are going to send him the bill according to the usage. And prepaid meaning that he will pay you in advance for amount of times that he's going to use your license, and every time he uses the license it will decrement until it becomes 0. So these two, postpaid and prepaid, are different for the cloud. If you, as an ISV, would like to use the cloud, bear in mind that the LDK 7.1 DK as is does not include cloud. You would have to contact salesperson at SafeNet and ask for cloud, and as a result, after having the cloud in your environment, you would have to get let's say two things or maybe 3 things that are identified here. First of all, EMS patch for adding the cloud support. Normally the EMS, which is the tool for creating licenses and managing licenses, this tool will work only with LDK. But if you run this patch that you are going to receive, then you will have an ability to define also cloud licenses. And then the second component that you will get is a cloud runtime API. Like we have in the LDK licensing API or runtime API for the LDK that you have to integrate inside application. Also the cloud has its own runtime API that you will have to integrate inside applications in order to consume licenses from the cloud. And there are several specific parameters that are identified to you as a vendor that you will have to be using them inside your configuration files. Okay, this is of course a general view of what is going to be. Here is the EMS after the cloud as patch has been added, and as you can see here, maybe the entitlement type can now be either Sentinel LDK, but also you can choose Sentinel Cloud. The same goes with creating features, features and products, etc. So everything will allow you to use either Sentinel LDK as normal or Sentinel Cloud. Now this is the first view that I'm going to show you about what is cloud and how it works. And it is totally different than how the LDK works. First of all, we can see here on the right side the user. the user use and run the application. And this is the vendor Euro as a nice Viv application, and you can use it and integrate inside a cloud runtime API. Now, for instance, if user is using some feature over here or click on some button, then the cloud runtime API will call a login. So this login will not go to check whether there is a key, protection key connected to the machine. Instead, this login, in most of the cases, but there are other specifications, but in most of the cases, it will go to the web, to the cloud, and look there for a Sentinel Cloud Connect component, this one. Sentinel Cloud Connect component in the web is a server that is managed by SafeNet, and this server behaves as the license manager. So it gets all the logins from all the vendors, from all the users, and process them and decide whether the login is accepted or denied. How it is being done? This Sentinel Cloud Connect has its own database, and this database gets information of entitlement from previous Sentinel EMS entitlements. So let's go back to the left side. What happens is that the vendor will prepare for this user, user 1, the entitlement that he will be able to use his application, his feature. The vendor will create this entitlement either usually with the Sentinel EMS by using cloud products, cloud entitlements, or as usual by EMS web services, and it can be done automatically to serve ERP or CRM, this kind of mechanism. Eventually, this entitlement, once it is used, created, then this entitlement goes to the database of the Sentinel Cloud Connect, and the Sentinel Cloud Connect, which is the license manager in the web, waits until the user asks for logging to this feature, and if there is an entitlement for this user to lose specific feature, then it will get back saying, yes, you can log into this feature. So this is the mechanism. There are a few advantages, like there is a cache working next to the vendor application, so it will be faster if the user has already been asking for logging for feature A, and feature A is in a type of a perpetual, meaning that you can use as much as you want. This means that you can find it already in the cache, so no need to go to the web and looking for the Sentinel Cloud Connect whether there is an option to log in or not. So this is a regular view. And talking about the cloud, we have two options. One is cloud deployment, and this means that usually you as an ISV will be able to use an application as a web application which resides on the cloud. So this is the first time that we suggest that we offer you as an ISV to have applications, web applications protected, because the LDK cannot protect web applications. But here you can work and take these web applications and protect them. How? You integrate the cloud runtime API of inside your web application to make a login. And now once the end user uses your application, normally but using browser, but it can be some client, when he uses your application, the cloud runtime API invokes the login, as we saw, to the Sentinel Cloud Connect, who will get back whether this login is successful or failed. Talking about cloud, we also have the option to have on-premise deployment. So despite the fact that this is a cloud, you can also use a desktop application normally as you use with the LDK. Inside this application, you will integrate the cloud runtime API, and this cloud runtime API, using login, can also connect to the Sentinel Cloud Connect if there is a connection, internet connection between the end user and the web servers. But you can use this Cloud Runtime API to make a transfer API, transfer call, and transfer call will use a local SL storage over here. So the cloud, as a matter of fact, is not only a cloud, but it is also a cloud on-premise to allow desktop application to be using the cloud functionality. What is unique about the cloud and what are the advantages? Let me have the list here. First of all, we didn't talk about it. Let me get back to this diagram. This diagram shows how the cloud works, and we said that there is a login and the Sentinel Cloud Connect knows the entitlements that has been transferred from the EMS and it knows whether the login should be successful or failed. But I didn't tell you about another important part. All the time when there is a login, the Sentinel Cloud Connect also there are other components that I'm not going to elaborate, but eventually the Sentinel Cloud Connect will have the recorded time, how many times this user has been using feature A, and when, and which user has been used which features. So all this information is aggregated here, and you can use it and see it using the EMS. So you as an ISV will be able to see user 1, how much time he has been used feature A, how much time he has been using feature B, etc. And so you as a vendor can have track about the usage for your user. Why it is important? It is important for two reasons. First of all, for billing purposes, if you want to have like a postpaid, meaning that the user can use as much as you want, but after 1 month I will see how much he has been using feature A, and then you will get the bill accordingly. So this is a nice way of making the tracks. Another good reason for the vendor to make track about how much time this feature has been used is for marketing purposes. For instance, the vendor can see that feature A is not being used so oftenly like feature B, as much as feature B is being used. Or maybe user 1 has been using feature A, but maybe we can offer him feature B which can be good for him, and all these kind of options. So this is the usage-based pricing, which is a new business model that you can really, as an ISV, get payments according to the amount of time that your end user has been using your license. And as we said, this usage, this recorded, these records of how much time, how many times, which features, etc., can be used for marketing purposes. The fact that we are using cloud, and we are using cloud runtime API, can allow you as an ISV to use this cloud runtime API not only in application which resides on the desktop, but also in application which resides on the web. And you can even use another version of this cloud runtime API, not as a DLL that you integrated, but as a service that we allow you to use. So this service can be used using HTTP. Therefore, you can use the cloud runtime API from any software language, any environment. We have the option of follow me licensing, meaning that this user can use your license not only from a specific machine, not only if he has the dongle connected to his USB, he can use it from everywhere in the world, which is of course a very convenient way. the EMS can serve you either LDK and a cloud, and in the cloud you have also, as we said, cloud and on-premise. Both can be used. Remote control, you are able to use the license and to define at any time when this license is going to be invoked and when this license is going to be cancelled. So you as an ISV can cancel a license, revoke a license whenever you want. So at any point you can stop from your end using to be using your application. So it's a nice way, or maybe you can update his license. So all this kind of remote control on the end user licensing is very important. And as we said, you can use any kind of platforms, any kind of environment, any kind of software language, because we offer this cloud runtime also as a HTTP connection web services. So to sum up, the cloud support in LDK is very useful for many cases, and we hope that you will find it beneficial for your requirements. Thank you for watching.